Ahoy there, movie geeks. This is Derek, the convicted cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And today, I have yet another hashtag spoof movie summer video for you. This spoof movie subgenre is already an acquired taste, and I want to talk today about a subgenre within that subgenre that doesn't get talked about much, and has only 3 films that I found that I would qualify as being part of this subgenre. It's a genre that I've always been intrigued by, and I would like to talk about these films in this video that I have entitled, I Like Your Movie, Can I Borrow It? I'm going down to the basement cause I got some time that's free. Spoof movie, summer. I want some good belly laughs, but I really don't wanna think. Spoof movie, summer. We had fun until cancel culture took them away. And by that, of course, I mean movies that have had footage and or dialogue from other films of the past with new footage and or dialogue re-edited within them. And the first of these 3 films is Woody Allen's debut feature film from 1966, What's Up, Tiger Lily? This movie is yet to receive a Blu-ray release, I found while researching for this video, so that kind of sucks. I would like to watch it. I still have not seen it. But the film is essentially a James Bond-esque Japanese film, spy thriller sort of thing. And Woody Allen inserts himself with new footage into the original film, changing the plot and characters and so on. The Japanese film that the footage is taken from is called Key of Keys, and it was purchased for distribution in the US by American International Pictures. But instead of simply just releasing the film as it was with subtitles or what have you, AIP's boss, Henry G. Saperstein, decided simply to redub the existing film. So he hired the new kid on the block, Woody Allen, who just had a hit screenplay to direct his first feature film, which is What's Up, Tiger Lily? Being the only one of these 3 films I'm going to talk about that I haven't seen, I can't give like a legit recommendation, but I definitely want to watch it. So just based on that, I'd say, hey, give it a shot if you have a chance. I'm guessing it is on DVD and VHS, but it is not on Blu-ray like I previously stated. But if you're a fan of movies like this or Woody Allen's older films, which I typically am, I think you would enjoy it. The second film of this subgenre that I'd like to talk about is the reuniting of 2 comedy legends, Steve Martin and Carl Reiner, after their first breakout hit film, which is one of my all-time favorite comedies or movies period of all time, 1979's The Jerk. If you haven't seen The Jerk, do yourself a favor and go buy The Jerk and watch it right now. Can't stress that enough. Before it somehow gets all canceled and censored and ruined, go watch The Jerk while it's still here. But this film came out in 1982, and it is entitled Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. The film is a noir thriller in a classic Hollywood 30s, 40s setting. It's the story of a detective uncovering a sinister plot. And since this movie borrows footage from older films, it has characters from dozens of different noir films of the past, including some of Hollywood's most legendary actors of all time. To name a few, you have Ingrid Bergman, James Cagney, Humphrey Bogart, Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, Kirk Douglas, Cary Grant, Burt Lancaster, Barbara Stanwyck, and Vincent Price. So, for a movie that doesn't have these cast members in it, this movie's got a stacked cast. The film actually has a pretty good Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. I bought it a couple of sales ago, haven't had a chance to rewatch it, but I did watch the film for the first time a few years ago, and it was very entertaining. All of Steve Martin and Carl Reiner's older films are pretty damn fantastic, and just the concept of the film itself is pretty brilliant. Anyone who's a fan of old-fashioned Steve Martin and Carl Reiner humor would love it, or if you're just a fan of old noir thrillers from the golden age of Hollywood, you'd get a kick out of it. In fact, the concept is so well executed that I would bet a younger viewer who doesn't really know who Steve Martin is or any of the golden age Hollywood stars would just think it's some old black and white movie that they'd never heard of before. It's that convincing. It took another 20 years for another film like this to come out that I know of. If you know any of the films like this that I haven't mentioned, please leave it in the comments because I want to see it. I know there is some faux documentaries that are kind of like this, but as far as narrative structure films, these are the only three that I could find, and it was for some reason a surprisingly hard thing to look up. Anyways, 20 years later, another film like this finally came out. This would be 2002, my movie theater working prime, which means I saw this movie in theaters at least 3 times and watched it a dozen times after buying the DVD, which I sadly don't own anymore, and it isn't on Blu-ray. We'll get more into that later. But this film took this genre to another level, and that film is Steve Odekirk's Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. This film is about as love it or hate it as any movie can get. Obviously, I am the love it crowd because I am talking about it in this video, and I really wish I still owned it, and I don't. The footage used in this film is from a 1976 martial arts movie entitled The Savage Killers, aka Tiger and Crane Fists. So Steve Odekirk, plus a handful of other actors, were digitally inserted into the old Kung Fu movie by use of stand-in doubles, recreated sets in some cases, but mostly like chroma key blue screen effects. Apparently, Steve Odekirk chose this movie particularly to parody because of the scene where the villain gets kicked in the crotch repeatedly and has absolutely no reaction to it whatsoever. And, you know, when you take that and put it into a spoof movie, it's just that much more ridiculous. As goofy as the movie is, Odekirk actually brings a level of legitimacy to the film because he's a lifelong martial artist. So he knows what he's doing, at least well enough, to make it through a film like this. And with the exception of one female character, Steve Odekirk does all the characters' voice dubs on his own. It is very obvious because you can tell they all sound like Steve Odekirk, but I think they're hilarious. So, you know, I'm a fan. Sadly, though, the sequel, Tongue of Fury, never came to be. And even worse than that, like I said before, there is no Blu-ray of this film. The fact that there's a movie that came out in 2002 and it doesn't have a Blu-ray in the country that it is from is ridiculous. This movie's hilarious. There's a lot of really good special features on the DVD. They could port over to the Blu-ray and make everybody happy. So I looked into it because I couldn't remember. This is a 20th Century Fox movie. So there's part of the reason. So Fox, Disney, whoever the hell you are, whoever I need to complain to, put Kung Pao on Blu-ray just remaster the movie in 2K or whatever the heck you got to do and port over all the special features and I'd be happy. Or even you know what, compromise. Put it on Disney Plus. It's PG-13. Disney Plus can handle it. Or at least Hulu. After all is said and done, give these 3 films a watch. Like I said, these are the only 3 films that I could think of or find that have a concept like this, where they borrowed footage from an old movie and inserted their own new footage and sound and dialogue to make a new movie. So if you know any ones that I didn't mention, please let me know because I want to see them. Go see these 3 films if you can. Like I said, one has a really good Kino Lorber release, that is Dead Man Don't Wear Plaid. Kung Pao you'd have to watch on DVD or rent digitally or something like that. And same goes for What's Up Tiger Lily. I know that movies like this might be too stupid for some people, but you'll never know until you try. And like I said before, it has been 20 years since Kung Pao came out. So I think we're long overdue for another film in this grossly underutilized sub-genre. So please, comment, like, subscribe, all that guff. I hope you're enjoying Spoof Movie Summer. Hashtag Spoof Movie Summer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.